It's a humid Sunday afternoon here in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Temperature currently 76 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies here today at MetLife. Todd Bowles, fourth year as the head coach of the Jets. He'll be calling plays. He told us it's like riding a bike. He works with the defense all the time, and he's got a great staff, so it's all about communication. Very close relationship with Vance Joseph. They got to know each other through Mike Nolan, former head coach in the NFL. Both worked for Nolan. Vance told us they talk about once a month, although Vance said he does most of the talking.
Yeah, Todd's a quiet. Yeah, quiet guy, but very demanding at times. But Vance, not so much on the quiet side.
He's garrulous. The Jets won the toss. They have deferred, so the Broncos will receive. Denver enters action at 2-2. That 27-23 loss to Kansas City. They had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter and blew it. They got Mahomes. Jason Myers will kick it off. Philip Lindsay, the rookie, is back. We're underway at MetLife. Deep kick, and Lindsay's going to take it out. Lindsay stood up before he got to the 20. Gets out of there, and a flag is thrown as he's chopped down by Pierre Lewis. And Pete Morelli is our referee today. This crew is calling the fourth most penalties in the league so far through 4 weeks.
During return, holding number 32 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Janovich, the guilty party, and Denver will be a little deeper in its own territory to open up. Case Keenum, a veteran, now in his sixth year in the NFL and trying to get back on track after a couple of shaky weeks.
Yeah, he emphasized with us yesterday that it's up to him to take care of the ball today, playing on the road against his aggressive Jet defense. But he did see what Jacksonville did to the Jets last week on shallow crossing routes. He thinks he can hit some big plays against his secondary.
No touchdown since week one, that victory over Seattle. Freeman opens up as the single setback. Full receiver set. Keenum, he will toss it to Freeman. Little shake and bake by Freeman. He's out of bounds. Darrell Roberts over there to push him towards the sideline. About 6.5 on the play. On the starting offense for Denver, they are down a tackle. Jared Veldheer is out with a knee injury, so Billy Turner, who has been much traveled, steps in at right tackle. Turner formerly with Miami and Baltimore. Veldheer suffered the injury in the first quarter last week. We'll call it 2nd and 3 for Denver. On the ground for Freeman. Brought down, McClendon grabs him just short of the first down. So for Todd Bowles, what changes here today with him being engaged in every single play and being the communicator?
Yeah, and this is where the Jets get creative, is on third downs. But again, on a third down and short with a big back like Freeman running behind Janovich, they've been very successful in these third and real short situations.
The Jets defensive coordinator Casey Rogers, 49 years old, dealing with a serious health issue, not here today. Third and short for Denver. Falling forward, just enough. Freeman gets the first down. Needed a yard, got to McClendon, hit him down low.
Yeah, McClendon, the nose tackle, number 99, is going to spin off the block here and grab the right leg of Royce Freeman. Pull him back, but not until Freeman reaches across the 20-yard line for the first down.
Jets will go with a nickel here. Darrell Roberts, no Trumaine Johnson. Johnson out with a quad injury, and it could be for an extended period of time. Talented receivers for Denver. And our first look at Philip Lindsay, cutting it. There's Lindsay, he's a dart. Lindsay hit from behind as he crossed the 45. Jordan Jenkins, he didn't see him go right by. He was a flash.
Now we talk about Billy Turner taking Veldheer's spot. Watch the big tackle. Good mobility here to get out in front on this play. It's blocked there, and he kicks out Jenkins to the outside, and there's that explosion of Lindsay, averaging 5.9 yards a carry. That'll push him over 6 yards a carry.
They've been surprised how good an inside runner he's been. They had no idea he'd have this kind of impact. Undrafted. Keenum Play action. Keenum got rid of it as he was going down. Brandon Copeland put some heat on Case Keenum. Incomplete.
It's a play action pass, the fake to Freeman. And you can see that the coverage here, screen, perfect job on Sanders. He gets help. And you can see that the Jets have already addressed the problem of those short crossing routes that burned them last week with Blake Bortles and the Jaguars.
In addition, the Jaguars ran 23 more plays than the Jets last week in that 31-12 loss. Thomas, Sanders, Sutton, outstanding receivers for this Denver squad. On the draw, Lindsey. The acceleration as Pennell got him by the waist. 4-yard gain for Philip Lindsay, and now it's third down for Denver in Jets territory.
Third downs have not been very kind to the Broncos, converting them just 37%, which is good for 21st in the league. But the Jets only stopped 37% of third down tries against them.
Jets are rotating their defensive lineman. Henry Anderson, who's been a big surprise for New York, is now in. 7th play of the drive for Denver. 3rd and 6. They spread it. Keenum looks. It's dropped. Emmanuel Sanders. Buster screen was over there. Sanders, normally sure-handed and a big play threat, couldn't haul it in.
No, he's got 24 catches on the year, and he's open on this out route, but good tight coverage by screen. I think the ball gets all the way through. Does the screen get? Yes, he does. Gets his right hand in between the hands of Sanders. Tremendous play by screen.
And the NFL debut for Colby Wadman. He was delivering pizzas a year ago in California. Wadman, a high punt, replacing Marquette King, who was placed on IR with a thigh injury. And he's got that one now in the books. Only 28 yards. The Jets will take over at the 11:24 mark of the first. Sam Darnold in the Jets offense when we come back. Well, the Jets had just 178 yards of offense last week in that loss to Jacksonville. They allowed 503, the most yards allowed in a regular season game since 08 against New England. Sam Darnold now in week 5 of his rookie season day.
Well, he wants to get in and out of the huddle quickly, have about 20 seconds at the line of scrimmage to figure out where the Broncos are and what adjustments he needs to make.
They are using Tomlinson in the backfield. Now he'll shift out of it. First play from scrimmage for New York. Double tight end set, tight formation. Can they establish the run against Denver? Bilal Powell, not a whole lot there. Met by the combination of Gotsis and Wolf for about 1.5 yards. Well, that offensive line, you talked about it at the top of the show, not only protecting Darnold, but trying to get some push. They had a good ground game against Detroit, 169 yards in the opener. Nothing against Miami, 107 yards on the ground against Cleveland. Then last week, nothing to speak of against an excellent Jacksonville defense.
And it all averages out to just 88 yards a game on the ground. Not good enough.
2nd and long here for New York. On the ground, Powell into a crowd where the ball is free. Denver claims they've got it, and they do. Bilal Powell coughs it up, and Adam Gotsis comes away with it for the Broncos.
Well, Gotsis is a guy that's going to punch it out. Watch his left hand here. He knocks it out. First fumble of the season for Powell.
And he just lands on it, Dan.
Look at the ball didn't get deflated. Yeah, you can walk. You can strut after you make the forced fumble and the fumble recovery.
So the former Australian rules football standout, Adam Gotsis, makes the play for Denver, and the Broncos fans that have traveled are in business here with Denver taking over 1st and 10 at the Jets 20. An early turnover for New York.
Now, this is a place for the Broncos to take a shot early, and don't be surprised if they don't dial up number 14, Cortland Sutton, at 6'4", 220 pounds.
Big target rookie out of SMU. Motion man is Demaryius Thomas. Keenum on a give. Lindsey dances inside the 10. Good block from Turner and Hireman as he picks up 12. Well, for Sam Darnold, that's not exactly how he thought this day would start for the offense.
A couple of running plays. Powell had a couple of yards on that play, but it was a real strong arm for Gotsis to get that ball out.
First and goal for Denver, trying to get on the board first. Lindsey in the backfield. He gets the call. Lindsey, quick feet, but he was tangled up down low. He couldn't break away from that initial wave. Jamal Adams leading the charge for no gain.
Well, Jamal Adams is going to do that a lot. #1 tackler for the Jets. It prefers playing close to the line of scrimmage like a linebacker, and also working in tandem with second-year player Marcus May.
Just the third career fumble loss for Bilal Powell, and Denver trying to take advantage of it. Second and goal for the Broncos. Keenum out of the pocket, pulls the trigger, back of the end zone. It's Sutton. Touchdown, Broncos. Case Keenum with a strike. Denver on the board first.
First touchdown catch for Sutton, but he waved his hand in the back of the end zone to get Keenum's attention, and then the perfect throw. You can see it pays off, being 6'4" with long arms. Makes the catch and then concentrates on his feet to get down before he goes out of bounds. Left foot down, right foot down, touchdown.
Sutton, who also played a little basketball at SMU. Major target at 6'4". And the extra point coming from Brandon McManus. He's made 24 straight field goals and point afters. Wadman holds it. McManus knocks it through. It's a 7-0 lead for Denver. The Jets cough it up. Keenum on the move. Hits his rookie wideout. The touchdown schneid is over for Case Keenum.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Corona Extra. Find your beach. United States Air Force. Experience more at airforce.com. And by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
Rough start for the Jets. Denver with a 7-0 lead, and a nice memory for Courtland Sutton. His first NFL touchdown. Keenum hits him. Denver trying to forget about what happened in the fourth quarter against Kansas City last week. And that's a pretty good way to do it. Get an early score and your defense sets the tone.
Keenum is a big fan. He says, we need to have Courtland Sutton get off the bus first every game. This imposing figure.
Yeah, the way he looks. Andre Roberts after the McManus kick. Roberts goes down to the 25-yard line. Thomas with the tackle. Sam Darnold will get another crack at this defense.
Keenum had all day to throw to find number 14. Here as he's going to go to the back of the end zone. Keenum buys extra time after excellent protection. 7 men in the secondary, but the rookie continues to work. Waves his left hand, makes the catch, and then gets down for the Broncos score.
So now it's Isaiah Crowell in the backfield. The fumble by Powell. Motion man is Robbie Anderson. Let's see if they can get him involved. And Von Miller is fully prepared for the Darnold toss, trying to get it to Anderson off the motion.
And he wasn't even blocked. He's just reading the eyes and going up like a volleyball player with a roof job here. Anderson was open, as you can see on the right side of the screen.
Miller gave Darnold very high praise this week when he's asked about Darnold. You think he was just buttering him up?
Yeah, I do. I think Vaughn praises everyone. He's that good. He's earned the honor to do that.
2nd and 10, Crowell. Isaiah Crowell finds a lane. Good block by Carpenter. And a 15-yard rip for Crowell.
Yeah, number 77 is Carpenter. Beats him with the kick out there on Miller this time. But good vision that time by Crowell to get that much-needed first down for this Jets offense.
He had 4 carries last week, no rushing yards, 1 catch for 3 yards. Already Crowell contributing. 8.5 to go in the first. Denver leads it 7-0. Crowell, the redirect. Trying to get to the outside. Crowell to the 45. And he got wiped out by Harris.
Now, a good job of this offensive line was staying on their blocks. Brian Winters doing a real solid job on Zach Kerr. And that was a high anxiety run for Crowell. Picking up 5 yards. It looked like he was going to get thrown for a 5-yard loss.
Nice escape by Crowell, setting up the Jets 2nd and 5 at the 45. Adam Jones in at the nickel for Denver. Kerr sets up in the slot. Darnold, quick hitter. And he hits Leggett. Leggett gets crunched along the sideline. Justin Simmons combining with Brandon Marshall. 10-yard pickup. NFL Today update. Let's head to New York and JB.
Chiefs opening drive, boom. Hey, how about Pat Mahomes, 6 of 7, 46 yards, and then he runs this in 4 yards out for a touchdown. The extra point is pending. Kansas City takes a 6-0 lead over Jacksonville. Ian, Dan, and Evan.
All right, JB Boomer will be checking in with you throughout the day for updates around the league. Kansas City trying to start 5-0 for the third time under Andy Reid. Powell is back in. Bilal Powell. They are in Denver territory at the 41-yard line, brought down by the safety Darian Stewart. That's a 4-yard pickup for Powell.
Yeah, Stewart, similar to Jamal Adams at that strong safety spot, is going to be crowding that line of scrimmage. And when he gets there, he delivers a good blow. And the key part about that hit is he avoided the helmet-to-helmet targeting hit and led with his shoulder to drop the running back.
Went to the Pro Bowl as a member of the Broncos in 2016. Denver trying to stop the Jets here. They're relying on the ground game. It's working. Bilal Powell. Beachum, Carpenter, Long, all providing a push for Powell.
Well, here's the push. The double team right here, right up the middle. And then Beachum with a good kick out, but this is a huge gaping hole for 15 yards and a good bounce back run for Bilal Powell after the fumble.
Darnold now will operate out of the gun with a new set of downs to work with at the 25 of Denver. Just under 6 minutes to go here in the first. Running play, and this time Powell can't get away. Shane Ray for the Broncos slams down Powell for a loss.
And Shane Ray was lined up as a defensive end over the guard on the right side of the formation. Well, they'll use Ray and Shaq Barrett along with Chubb and Miller to put pressure, a speed type of pass rush against the rookie Darnold.
8th play of the drive. Mostly run so far for New York. 2 tight ends in this formation, Tomlinson and Herndon. Fake it. Darnold has the time. Delivers on time to Robbie Anderson. They're going to mark him out just short of the first down.
A really good route by Robbie Anderson as he's going to turn Bradley Roby all the way around. Roby slips just a little bit. Look at that perfectly delivered ball over the top. Anderson with good foot awareness there for 12 yards.
Just his 9th catch of the season. Jeremy Bates, the 41-year-old, calling the plays for New York. And a 3rd and 1 for the Jets. They go empty.
They should go quarterback sneak here.
And they will. Darnold busting through for 3.
There's a huge gap there between the center and the right guard. You can see that Pecco takes the left side of the center long, and it's an easy pickup for Darnold. Remember, Darnold goes 225 pounds, and is an excellent athlete.
When we talked to Sam Darnold, he said, I know it may sound like a cliche, but it feels like us against the world right now. That's how he views it. First down, high snap, handle. Crowell keeps the legs churning, but Pecco is there to deny him and move him backwards, give him a half a yard on forward progress.
Now this could be a problem for the Jets. This is 2 high snaps by Spencer Long on this series of plays. And Darnold has had to climb the ladder a couple of times. One was on a pass play that can really throw off the timing.
Broncos are 1-10 in their last 11 road games. That includes a loss 2 weeks ago in Baltimore. So traveling east again, Vance Joseph decided to travel on Saturday. Didn't want to shorten the week even more by leaving on a Friday. 11th play of the drive, 2nd and 9. Darnold sets. He throws too high for Enunwa. It's incomplete. 3rd and 9 for New York.
That's just a flat-out miss by Darnold as Enunwa with a sharp, quick-out route. This ball just going to sail on him. We'll check out the snap again. Again, that's too high. Center, the quarterback doesn't have to want to worry about where that snap is coming from his center.
This drive has taken up over 6 minutes of action. 3rd and 9. Darnold, end zone, incomplete. Kearse looking for a flag.
So am I. Darian Stewart tackled Kearse before the ball got to the both of them. This is clearly pass interference. There's the hit by Stewart. The ball goes sailing by. Kearse never had a shot at it. Right hand on the hip. PI.
Now, the indicator from the official was the ball was too high for him to throw the flag.
And my argument is, if he wasn't grabbed like that, he might have had a chance to leap and catch it.
30-yard attempt. And Myers just pushed it wide. Nothing is going the Jets' way. The Jets go 13 plays and they have no points to show for it. Denver's got the 7-0 lead, and the Jets continue to go through frustration. Tonight on CBS, see why critics are calling the new drama God Friended Me heartwarming and a truly original story. God Friended Me, that's tonight after 60 Minutes, only CBS. Well, Myers was 7 of 7 before that miss. Denver maintains the 7-0 lead. They take over at the 20. Freeman up the middle. He is met by Williamson. Flag on the play. Flag was tossed at the 31-yard line.
Holding. Number 99 defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It is Steve McClendon called on the hold for New York. We check in with Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, a lot of talk this week in Florham Park about communication defensively, players-only meeting for that unit. Well, after that Cortland Sutton touchdown, Jamal Adams brought all the players together, and I'll clean it up here, but the theme was we need to stay calm. We can't fight one another right now. We just have to move on. So you can see it carrying over to this game, fellas.
That's the clean version, the family version, Evan?
Exactly.
PG.
Avery Williams had said the players-only meeting was effective. Freeman to the outside, stumbles towards the perimeter, and a little shove from Buster Skrine. Williamson said they watched some different clips, talked about situational football. The communication in the room was positive, and the goal is to see that translate onto the field.
He's got the green dot, so he's the communicator, but it's nothing new to him. He was in that role when he was with the Titans, so he feels comfortable relaying whatever information he has to whomever needs it.
And it goes back to his Kentucky days as well. 2nd and 6 for Denver. Fake. Keenum has time. Keenum over the middle. The connection made. Case Keenum to Deshaun Hamilton. So another rookie. We've seen Freeman, we've seen Lindsey, Sutton, and Hamilton out of Penn State.
Well, this is Hamilton's first catch in the NFL. Drafted in the 4th round, but the pass protection, as you said, Ian, was really good. But again, the Jets hit over the middle for 18 yards. They gave up a ton of yards last week to Jacksonville in the same area of the field.
The Nittany Lions all-time receptions leader, Deshaun Hamilton. Injured Jet, it's Buster Skrine. And the Jets already down their starting corner, Tremaine Johnson. So Darrell Roberts would step in a more pronounced role. He had been playing in the nickel. Roberts had an interception last week. Parry Nickerson would then step into that extra role in the defensive backfield, the rookie out of Tulane. Denver has 87 total yards. All of them have been from the rookies. 7-0 lead for the Broncos. 1:35 to play here in the first. Keenum. The quick toss to Sanders. Stiff arm. Gets around Roberts and gets leveled. Marcus May laying the wood. NFL Today update. JB and Boomer in New York.
A run in traffic with determination. How about this by Curtis Samuel from Erasmus High School in Brooklyn, Ian? Take a look at this. He takes that wide receiver screen, drags a few Giants into the end zone. Panthers take a 7-3 lead in the first quarter.
That's a teaching tool. Back to Ian Eagle.
That's my dad's alma mater, Boomer. Incredible segue. Erasmus Hall, Brooklyn. Pitch it. Lindsey. Driven backwards. Darryl Roberts, first man there. And the Jets were all over it. A loss of 3 for the rookie Lindsey.
A couple of good defensive plays in a row now for the Jets. This is outstanding tackle here. Hits him low around the knees, wraps him up, and drives him backwards. But all the gangrene behind him, Lindsey was not going to go anywhere on that play.
Line of scrimmage is now the 44. Time winding down in this opening quarter. 2nd and 13. Lindsey remains in there. Sanders in motion. Keenum on the quick toss. He hits Lindsey. Penalty marker down at the 48.
They're going to call holding. Jerry Atachu of the Jets complaining,
Holding.
and he gets his wish.
Number 72 offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
And it's Garrett Bowles, who had a lot of holding penalties. In fact, led the league in 2017 in his rookie year, now in his second season from Utah. So 12 seconds left in the quarter. Denver's going in the wrong direction. Now the line of scrimmage is the 46, and they're not even going to snap the ball. We will head to the second quarter with the Broncos in front of the Jets. 7-0. A Jets fumble. Denver takes over deep in New York territory, and they cash in on the touchdown. Keenum to Sutton. The 7-0 lead for Denver.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Snickers. You're off your game when you're hungry. Eat a Snickers. And by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing.
First quarter numbers, the turnover, the biggest key there. The Broncos had not forced a turnover in 3 straight games, which tied the longest streak in Denver history. 2nd and 23 to open up the second. Lindsey hit by Frankie Louvu, the undrafted free agent out of Washington State. 5-yard gain for Lindsey. Denver, the only team in the NFL with 2 running backs with 200-plus rushing yards through the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, good balance so far for this Denver offense.
Dime package for the Jets. J.J. Wilcox is in. A throw underneath, stumbling after the grab. And it is Tim Patrick, not nearly enough for a first down.
If he doesn't stumble, he may have a shot at getting the first down. He goes about 212. He's 6'4", but the stumble will cost him. Again, no pass rush at all for the Jets. And that stumble will bring out the punter.
So it is Colby Wadman once again out of UC Davis. Special teams coach Tom McMahon took an interest in him. Kept the relationship going and then brought him on board. Once again, did not get all of that one. A high punt, and it's out of bounds. We'll come back in 30 seconds after this from Lowe's. That was a 20-yard punt for Colby Wadman.
Yeah, it appears he's trying to kick that high end-over-end one diagonally instead of just down the middle of the field where his guys can down it inside the 10. So he's trying to be too fine with it, and it's cost him in his only 2 punts.
So the Jets get it back at the 23-yard line. Denver has run 16 plays. The Jets have run 14. And a 7-0 lead for the Broncos. Isaiah Crowell to the backfield. Crowell has room. Nice cut by Crowell. Crowell chewing up yards down the sideline. Isaiah Crowell could go. Touchdown, Jets. "77 yards.
Yeah, he does a great job of coming all the way around to the outside here, seeing it. Now watch him make Roby miss, Stewart miss, and now it's just speed as all the Broncos are just looking at his taillights. Longest run of the year for Crowell by far.
The high school track and field background played a role once he got through that initial wave. Crowell saw daylight, and the Jets get the equalizer after the extra point from Myers. It's Crowell taking it the distance. Longest run for the Jets since 1996. Adrian Morrell. That was Adrian Morrell, 77-yard touchdown from Crowell.
And you know, oftentimes we'll say, well, he did it all on his own. Well, he did it all on his own. There's only one significant block on that play, and it was by Chris Herndon.
Myers will kick it off. Lindsey is deep. And this time, Lindsey is not going to catch it and run. Our Fouts focus on that touchdown run by Crowell.
I'm going to show you the one block. It's right here. You'll see Chris Herndon. But it's the moves. It's making guys not only miss, but go down. First of all, it's one down. There's two down. And now it's just a sprint. Terrell Pryor's going to come out here and push Adam Jones to the ground.
So how does Denver respond here after the long run by Crowell? They had problems stopping Hunt last week for Kansas City. Play action. Keenum, a floater. They'll catch a run by Hireman. No Jake Butt, who is done for the season with a torn ACL. 14 yards, catch and run, tackled by Darren Lee.
That was real good recognition by Hireman, as he let the defense flow all the way to the outside and cut back over the middle and picked up a first down and gives the Bronco offense a positive start on first down.
Freeman in the backfield, 6 completions to 6 different receivers for Keenum. Operating out of the gun. Keenum, pump and throw off the hand of Hireman. It's incomplete. Let's send it down to Evan Washburn.
Guys, a couple of injury reports to give you. First, for the Jets, Buster Skrine, we saw him go down with about a minute to go in that first quarter. He's currently in the locker room being evaluated for a concussion. Now for our officials, our back judge, Keith Ferguson, he headed inside with a back sprain. So that's required some adjusting here for this crew. They're prepared for it, but we'll keep you up to date on both.
And that is next level reporting from Evan. 2nd and 10. 13:01 to play in this first half. We're tied at 7. Give it to Lindsey. It looked like he was shot out of a cannon on the handoff, but Leonard Williams and Henry Anderson cut off the angle. 2-yard pickup. So 3rd and long now for Denver.
And we'll see if this Jet defense can capitalize on the momentum that Crowell gave this team after that long touchdown run and stop the Broncos here and get the ball back for their rookie quarterback.
These two teams met last year. It was December 10th, a 23-0 Denver win. Trevor Siemian was the quarterback for the Broncos, and they knocked out Jets quarterback Josh McCown. He broke his left hand. 4 receivers set. They crowd the line. Keenum is dumped. Leonard Williams.
Well, this is when the Jets get exotic with their blitzes on 3rd and long. You can see the blitz by the safety J.J. Wilcox, the top of the screen. That allows Leonard Williams to be one-on-one here against McGovern. And he just ragdolls Keenum to the ground for a loss of 9.
Andre Roberts has a punt return for a touchdown this season against Detroit. Wadman trying to put some air under this one. Fair catch called for, and it's hauled in cleanly at the 24-yard line. A 44-yard kick. 11:36 remaining in the first half. All tied up at 7 apiece, the Broncos and Jets. As part of the Jets' Crucial Catch Intercept Cancer campaign, Jets legend Tony Richardson visited Atlantic Health System's Goriev Children's Hospital on Friday to help put a smile on children's faces. The NFL and the American Cancer Society are continuing their longtime partnership on Crucial Catch to help the nation play offense against all types of cancer. Visit NFL.com/Crucial Catch to learn more and to complete the Defender for personalized tips on reducing your cancer risk.
Now, normally we have 7 officials. We do not have a line judge who should be here. There's the line judge, and there's no defensive back judge. So just 6 officials to work with now, with Keith Ferguson, our back judge, in the locker room.
And dealing with a back issue. Powell gets the call. Could not turn the corner. And Justin Simmons ranging over to make the play. A gain of 1.
Jets alternating between Crowell and Powell, as they always do. But this is an outstanding job on the tackle that time. Fighting off the block and getting him down, Justin Simmons, after a short gain of 1 yard.
3 tight ends in this formation for the Jets. The tight end spot has been an unproductive position for the Jets basically since 2011. Dustin Keller, the last tight end to have a true impact season for New York. Sam Darnold's pass is knocked down by Derek Wolfe. It's 3rd and long. NFL Today update. JB and Boomer standing by.
Giants comedy of error.
Well, I'll tell you what, they got Odell Beckham back here try to catch a punt. He decides not to catch it and then get involved. Ball hits off of him. Janoris Jenkins fumbles it. Eli Apple kicks it into the end zone. Colin Jones of the Panthers falls on it. Panthers lead 14-3 over the Giants.
Back to Iron Eagle.
And this stretch for the Giants, the lack of offense, 36 straight games with less than 30 points. 3rd and 9 for the Jets. Here's Darnold, airing it out. Deep ball, separation, caught. Robbie Anderson, goodbye. Touchdown, Jets. They've been waiting for this combination. A big play for the New York offense again, 76 yards.
His career long, and he's going to run right by Bradley Roby. A little hesitation there, and see ya. Perfectly thrown by Darnold, right to the fingertips, and a coast into the end zone by Robbie Anderson. The protection is perfect. Execution, absolutely perfect.
And then at the end, he pulls a George Gervin finger roll.
And a nap.
Robbie Anderson last year had 63 catches, 941 yards, 7 touchdowns. He has just not been a factor through the first 4 weeks. A couple of fumbles by Anderson.
Well, and that'll go so far for Darnold's confidence. He had completed just 2 passes before that here in the first half.
Extra point, Myers. Sam Darnold, he drops it in the bucket for Anderson. Explosive plays for the Jets. They're up 7 on Denver.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925. Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. And by the Ford F-150, it doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
Well, Dan, Robbie Anderson with that 76-yard touchdown catch. Only the 2nd time in Jets history they've had 2 75-plus plays in the same game. 1972 at the Baltimore Colts. Joe Namath to Richard Castor for 79 yards and 80 yards.
Tremendous shootout against Johnny U that day. A classic.
And that's offensive plays only. Fouts focus after the touchback.
Well, check out the young quarterback moving the safety here, Darian Stewart, to this side of the field. Then he has one-on-one coverage with the speedster. The hesitation move there. Roby bites on it. And Darnold delivers. Trust given to him by Jeremy Bates, offensive coordinator, to show off that right arm. Pays off in a 76-yard touchdown.
Case Keenum, formerly with Houston, the Rams, Minnesota. Many years he felt pressure just to make an NFL roster. Keenum lines up a deep ball. Nearly intercepted. Sanders the intended target, and Claiborne was over there. JB and Boomer have an NFL Today update.
Boomer, you don't see this very often, do you?
No, it's old school. Look at Dan Fouts throwing it to Lionel James out of the backfield, a corner route. That's Ryan Tannehill, the Kenyon Drake, 22 yards. Dolphins go 11 plays, 95 yards, and take a 7-0 lead over the Bengals.
Ian, we knew Dan would like that one.
You know, Boomer has flashbacks of that day. I whipped him 44-41 at Riverfront.
Do we have video?
I think he was a rookie.
Devoured. Freeman runs into Williamson. A brick wall and a loss of 2. That'll be 3rd and long for the Broncos.
And check out number 54, the run blitz. He meets Freeman in the backfield for the loss. But you can just feel the momentum, the energy the Jets are playing with on both sides of the ball now, thanks to those 2 huge plays by their offense.
Dime package here for the Jets. Devontae Booker, the 3rd running back in the rotation, is in. Keenum from the gun. Steps. Keenum in trouble. Tries to get out of it. Keenum is down. Once again, Leonard Williams putting the heat on the QB.
Well, and it's a blitz, so it's man-to-man coverage. And the Jets in the secondary doing a great job of blanketing the receivers. But does this ball come out here on Keenum as he's hit there by Williams? Williams digging for the ball with his right hand here. May comes in late.
Ooh.
Almost a disastrous turnover for the Broncos.
And Colby Wadman in his NFL debut is getting a workout. Roberts backpedals from the 34. Roberts hit hard as he crossed the 40-yard line. That's where the Jets will take over after the 49-yard kick. 14-7 lead for the Jets over the Broncos. Jets with the football when we come back. Early turnover for Denver. They turned that into 7 points. Other than that, Broncos have done very little. Meanwhile, the Jets have been incredibly efficient their last 2 possessions. Big plays from Crowell and Anderson. 154 yards in the second quarter. 3 tight ends in this formation. Crowell trying to squeeze through. They push the pile after the 3-yard pickup. All right, let's bring in our rules analyst, Gene Steratore, back in the studio. Gene, this crew is down a back judge, Keith Ferguson. How does that affect the crew, and how do you compensate for it?
Well, it appears to me, guys, that they are situationally moving the officials around. We can see the official that was just on the line of scrimmage right now backing up, and he's going to play a deep wing. It affects it because each of these positions has specific keys as it relates to potential receivers. So as they move that official from the line of scrimmage to downfield, his responsibility on what player he's covering will change to play-by-play here.
Great stuff, Gene. Darnold out of the pocket. Darnold trying to create something down the field to Tomlinson. And it's incomplete. The pressure from Pecco and Wolf. And now we have to set up the alignment for the officials in the deep wing.
Well, it's almost as if the officials are anticipating the plays. That was obviously a 2nd down and long situation. But this is really our key guy. He's running downs. He's going to be here close to the line of scrimmage. And all those responsibilities, it changed for him.
You know, if Jeremy Bates would just share the plays with them, That would make this whole process much easier. 3rd and 7 here for New York. Darnold from the gun. Here comes the rush. Darnold unloads. Incomplete. Kearse the intended target and snuffed out by Chris Harris Jr. The pressure from Von Miller. The Jets go 3 and out.
Yeah, it's been a while for Miller to get a sack. We've already saw him knock down a pass. He gets close to this one.
Wolf also put some heat on Darnold, who's now 3 of 9, 98 yards, and the touchdown.
And Chris Harris Jr. with just enough to knock that ball away from Kearse.
2 men deep, Tim Patrick and Adam Jones for Denver. Lachlan Edwards will kick it. Jones. 5 career touchdowns as a punt returner, and that is not going to be number 6. Trenton Cannon downfield on special teams. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Farmers Insurance. Jets 14, Denver 7, 8:02 to go in this second quarter. All right, let's take a look at it from the Broncos' perspective. What's not working so far for Denver?
They've gotten away from the run, and you know, Philip Lindsay has been on fire. 7 carries for 49 yards, and Freeman has been held in check. 7 carries for 4 yards.
There's Lindsay trying to get to the outside, and Claiborne there to cut him off. Well, this is a Denver offense that has the number 3 rushing team in the league. First 5 possessions, the touchdown after they got the excellent field position following the punt, following the fumble, but punts the rest of the way.
They lost 1 yard on that play, trying to go wide, but this Jet defense playing with a lot of energy here in the first half, something that had been missing in too many of their games so far this season.
Janovich in front of Lindsay on 2nd and 11. Give it to Lindsay. Cut to the outside. Lindsay is out of bounds. May and Roberts over there.
He took out Evan Washburn on the sideline.
Wait, did Evan go down?
But no, he fumbled though.
All good, guys. Don't worry.
You got to tuck that notebook away, though.
Cross player over here is ready to roll.
Oh, Washburn in that contemporary blazer. Keenum throws to the outside. It's complete to Sanders. Met immediately by Darryl Roberts. Let's slow it down frame by frame with Washburn.
Well, you know, Lindsay's coming at him pretty good. He's got a little bit of a back pedal, but he stumbles there.
Ooh, and the notes.
The notes are gone.
Never lose your notes.
These notes have been prepared for this, guys, and I'll just say, still all together here. It's all the new blazer, by the way.
Yeah, sharp. First down for Denver.
How embarrassing.
For who?
Not me.
Shotgun for Keenum. Royce Freeman now in there. Keenum. Pocket holds up. And Freeman drops the ball. Shadowed by Darren Lee.
Now this is a drop pass, but it's also a poor pass by Keenum. It forces Freeman to turn his body around to face the ball instead of being led away from the defensive Lee. Freeman should have had it, but Keenum should have put it in a better position for him.
Ball placement has been off today for Keenum, and he really built his reputation on accuracy. 2nd and 10. Once they go with that Janovich-Freeman lineup, and Keenum puts it in the right spot for Demaryius Thomas. Demaryius Thomas has a streak. He's been targeted at least 5 times in 94 straight games.
Now, he's going to need 4 more targets because that was his first of the afternoon. Keep that streak alive.
Under 6 minutes to go here in the first half. 14-7 Jets. Denver trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Jets trying to snap a 3-game skid. Keenum airs it out. Well placed to Thomas. Good block from Freeman. Copeland was putting some pressure, and now the Broncos are on the move thanks to that 31-yard hookup.
Yeah, really a good adjustment by Thomas. He had the close coverage there by Perry Nickerson, 43, but he knew the safety was coming over late, and he adjusted the ball perfectly. 2 catches in a row, and that's what the Broncos need, is to get their playmakers involved. 7 different receivers for Keenum, but he's finally finding Thomas. Back-to-back plays.
Vance Joseph said we can't carry excuses to New York after the emotional game against Kansas City. Hamilton with the grab, the catch and run inside the 10. And now the Broncos are starting to shred the Jets through the air. 24 yards.
Yeah, a little play action pass here, fake to Freeman, and then from the left side of the screen, you're going to see Deshaun Hamilton come in. You can see a confident quarterback that time. 3 really good throws in a row for Keenum.
Keenum, pump, throw, not on the same page with Hireman. Adams was there defensively. Keenum did not expect Hireman to continue on the route.
Yeah, that was a throwaway by Keenum because of the coverage by Adams. Adams took that angle you're talking about, Bird, took it away, and smart play by Keenum to throw it where nobody can catch it.
We asked Coach Joseph, what do you know about your team through 4 weeks? He said, we're tough, we battle, we don't give up. That's going to be part of their identity throughout the season. They trail 14-7 with 4:29 to play in the second quarter. Remember, they had come from behind wins the first 2 weeks of the season against Seattle and Oakland. On a give, Freeman flagged down. They gang up on Freeman along the sideline with Avery Williamson. Pete Morelli.
Illegal shift. Number 14 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
So it's Courtland Sutton called on the penalty for Denver.
He wasn't sure of the play. He did not get the signal. He saw Keenum going up and down the line of scrimmage, changing the play, but there was some confusion by Sutton, and he never quite got set when the ball was snapped.
So they backed it up to the 12-yard line. Now 2nd and goal. 4 receivers set. Keenum out of the gun. Keenum has the time, and that one is way off. Philip Lindsay.
Now, back-to-back really solid plays by the Jets secondary, forcing Keenum, even with the good pass protection, couldn't find anybody in the secondary. So good communication this week for the Gang Green secondary.
Keenum working with offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave. We'll see what he calls up here on a 3rd and goal for Denver. Out of the gun. Keenum. That's a high throw. Incomplete. Courtland Sutton went way upstairs trying to snare it with one hand. Claiborne and May combining defensively for New York.
Well, they saw him catch the touchdown in the first quarter. They're going to double team him here. He goes upstairs, but when he comes downstairs, he's going to be way out of bounds. But you love the effort the rookie put forth there.
So field goal attempt here for Brandon McManus, and a short one, 30 yards. Looking to cut into this Jets lead. Quick snap. And he knocks it through. 14-10. Jets with 3:58 remaining in the second. Saturday, it's the best game from the best conference when second-ranked Georgia heads to Baton Rouge to battle LSU. The day kicks off with college football today at 3 Eastern on CBS. Is that carry on? How do you get that here from Denver?
Well, you have to make the decision first of all, and that's always the toughest part of it.
that you're going to wear it?
that you're going to put it in your carry-on. How does it get through TSA? That's
No
what
idea.
I want to know.
I would imagine he got stopped a couple times. 3:58 remaining in this first half. And the Jets, first of 3 straight games here at home. They've got Indianapolis and Minnesota coming up on the schedule. Jets scored 31 points in the third quarter against Detroit. Since that point, in the next 13 quarters, it was a combined 41 points for Todd Bowles' squad. But 14 on the board here thanks to 2 big plays, Crowell and Anderson. McManus kicks it off, returnable from the 4. Andre Roberts, the veteran, goes down with a flag thrown. He got hit down low. And Devontae Booker on special teams for Denver. Jets already have more yards than they had a week ago in 4 quarters against Jacksonville. 178, 223 today in the first half.
And a goal here for the Jets. It'd be nice if they could get a nice long drive that would result in some points because they get the ball to start the second half.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal formation. Number 23 of the kicking team. Illegal block in the back. Number 89 of the receiving team. The penalties will offset, and we will re-kick the play.
So Mulligan here. Coming into action today, the Jets had 19 drives that have started inside their own 20. That was second in the league to Pittsburgh, who had 20. So not putting their rookie quarterback Sam Darnold in the best position to succeed. We mentioned the lack of a running game last week against Jacksonville. Obviously, things got softened up with that Crowell run today, and that opened up an opportunity for Darnold on the deep shot to Anderson.
Well, and what they've done to change things up a little bit, they have attacked the middle of the field with a couple passes, but mainly it's been Darnold throwing the ball to the outside and taking advantage of single coverage and the speed of Anderson for that long bomb.
Jets have been outscored 28-7 in the final 2 minutes of either half, so not finishing strong at the end of the first half and in the fourth quarter. Booming kick this time from McManus. Not going to take any chances. Jets will have it at the 25-yard line.
Well, Darnold's 3 out of 9, but 7 of his 9 attempts have been to the outside of the numbers. That one for 10 to Leggett, then Anderson for 12 on the sidelines. And, of course, this beautifully thrown touchdown pass here. So pressing the entire field and showing off his strong right arm.
The numbers overall do not look good for Darnold. He's completing 33% of his passes. But the big play to Anderson will make up for a lot of mistakes. Crowell, the zigzag to the 30-yard line. A lot of running for 5 yards. Von Miller will get credit for the tackle. A block from Tomlinson for New York.
Now we'll see how well that Sam Darnold can operate the end of the half offense, the 2-minute offense. They have 3 timeouts to work with.
2nd and 5 for the Jets. Once again, Tomlinson sets up in the backfield with Crowell. They don't have a traditional fullback on the roster. Crowell, good patience there. Cuts through the crevice for 4. Pecco and Marshall collaborate.
That really was a classic example of an I formation tailback with a lead back in Tomlinson. And as you said, Bird, the patience to wait it out, let the blocks develop. Picks up 4 yards where it looked like he had absolutely nothing.
Tomlinson's a big man, 6'6", 263 in his 3rd year from Texas El Paso. Big play here in terms of controlling the clock. If the Jets convert it, 3rd and 1. They will not. Domata Pecco, but the extra effort. Crowell did not go down.
Pecco's number 94 and all that hair, he drills him right there, but how about Crowell with the left arm pushing the 325-pound defensive tackle off him to pick up the first down. That was as impressive as his touchdown run.
And when the play-by-play announcer just assumes the play is over because
That's you.
that's me. Pecco couldn't bring him down. And the Jets get to use more clock. This time it's Powell weaving through across the 45. Just short of the marker for New York as we hit the 2-minute warning in Jersey. 14-10. Jets in front.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Gain. Seriously good scent. And by Lowe's.
Comic-Con in New York. Dan, you were right smack in the middle of it, weren't you?
Did you like my mask?
I did.
Yeah.
That was a little weird when you came to the production meeting as Captain America. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cower, latest NFL scores and highlights. Our superheroes are back there for
Hey,
the
down in
Verizon.
front.
Sir, lower your hair, sir. 2nd and 1. The sun is out here at MetLife. With 1:55 to play, first half. Darnold, fake it, throws, dropped. Quincy Enunwa has been shut out. Check in with Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, after some impressive runs, Isaiah Crowell was in the tent being evaluated for a concussion. He just stepped out of said tent, was given his helmet, so it looks to be a good sign for a guy who's had a big game.
Yeah, Crowell is 8 carries, 112 yards, the 77-yard touchdown. And right now, they're going to ask potentially Bilal Powell to get them the yard they need. Powell out of the backfield. Darnold trying to do it himself. And he stumbles through for a first down. Keeps the drive alive. 3-yard pickup for Darnold on the keeper.
And he kept his legs alive there and was stopped initially, but didn't quit on the play.
Jets hurry to the line. 1:34 to play in this first half. Give it to Powell. Sticks the helmet down, and Powell is brought down just inside the 45 with a flag thrown.
Yeah, 12 men on the field.
And Brandon Marshall was grabbing his knee.
Please set the game clock to 1:29.
Marshall's up.
Good job by the Jets getting the line of scrimmage and catching the Broncos with too many men on the field.
So you can go with a 2nd and 2 or a
12 men
1st
on
and
the
5.
field. Defense, number 99, did not get off the field. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So they'll go with a 1st and 5, and Josie Jewell will step in for Brandon Marshall.
There's the guilty party.
Also, Isaac Yedem is in for Denver in the secondary. Rookie out of BC, 3rd-round draft pick.
And it's unfortunate for Darnold that that was a running play, because if it had been a passing play, he saw the flag fly. He could have taken a shot down the field.
They've tried to cut down on those free plays, but obviously if it's that kind of situation where a player is running off for the defense, that's not one they'll whistle dead. They'll let the play develop. 1st and 5, trying to get into field goal range, or the Jets' main objective, try to get this thing into the end zone. Darnold, the dump off, catch by Tomlinson, rumbling Tomlinson across the 35.
Yeah, perfect play call by Jeremy Bates, anticipating the blitz, getting the blitz, and then throwing the screen over the top of that. 12 yards on the gain, and now in field goal range. Nice soft toss over the top.
Dan, what do you see from Darnold? What stood out about the first few games of his NFL career?
Well, with any quarterback, he's going to be a high anxiety type. He's always played with a lot of energy in his college days, but he's played a lot of football. So he has seen a lot of the things he's seeing, but just not at the speed he's seeing them. So the more he obviously has success, the more his confidence will grow. But he's a solid young man and a kid that just were wise to pin their hopes on him. And he gave this guy his USC jersey. Pretty cool.
I don't believe he was involved in any kind of transaction like that.
Really?
No.
How'd the kid get the jersey
I
then?
think he went to a store in L.A. When was your first game as a rookie?
It was in the 4th game of my rookie year, and we were playing the Raiders, okay? You have video? Probably. You going to show it? I hope not.
We have slides. Darnold throwing. Deep ball. He's got Anderson for the touchdown. Sam Darnold delivers. "35 yards.
And to answer your question, Bird, the confidence that shows me he can be a star. That was a fabulous throw. Roby with good coverage here. Anderson eyeing the ball perfectly thrown in the corner of the end zone.
Robbie Anderson, 3 catches, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Darnold, second of the day. 8 plays, 75 yards for New York. And Jason Myers on for the point after.
That throw was so good. Anderson showing off his speed and concentration.
All 21 of their points coming in the second quarter to extend the lead. 21-10 Jets.
Finally, the Jets offense are getting big plays. And this is their big play, wide receiver. But the throw couldn't have been better. He didn't have to reach out for it. He's got a little bit of a push there on Roby.
Now, Robbie Anderson has legitimate speed and is such a vertical threat. It's been really puzzling that they have not been able to work him in through the first 4 weeks doing what he does best.
Only had 8 catches in the first 4 weeks and 1 touchdown all the way back in that Detroit game.
Sam Darnold talked about the sense of urgency that he felt, that the team felt throughout the week. Trying to keep his life as simple as possible. Not taking on additional responsibilities that usually could come with playing in New York as a quarterback, and a lot of requests. Currently lives in the same apartment complex as Josh McCown, and they're constantly talking, watching tape. And the kickoff will bring this one back to the 25-yard line. Denver will have a minute 13 to work with in this second quarter.
Yeah, it's been a rough afternoon for number 29. Bradley Roby takes the bait there on the little hitch route and go by Anderson. Another perfectly delivered ball by Darnold. But on this one, Roby's got pretty good coverage. It's just a perfect throw. Never looking for the ball and never looking at the hands of Anderson for when Anderson reaches out for the ball to try to get his hands between them.
You know, we asked Vance Joseph about Roby, and he said, I've told him, your success should not be judged on how many interceptions you get. Just don't give up plays by guessing and taking unnecessary risks. Booker the catch. Brandon Copeland hit Keenum, and a flag thrown at the 15-yard line.
51 defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that'll be a nice bonus for Denver after the catch by Booker.
Yeah, especially when you consider Brandon McManus and how good he is. He is yet to miss this season. Perfect on the PATs, 9 for 9. Perfect on field goals, 7 for 7.
So they'll march this one to the 49-yard line. 9 yards on the catch, 15 yards on the penalty. And now Denver has 1:06 left in the clock, and McManus has a career long of 57. They don't need a whole lot to get into McManus range. Keenum, protection is there. Now it isn't. Keenum coughs it up. Denver recovers as Keenum got belted by Atachu.
Atachu goes all the way around the protection there, beats the block of Devontae Booker, and heads up recovery for the Broncos.
This has been a rough first half offensively for the Denver Broncos. Coming up, Verizon halftime report. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher. They've got the latest NFL scores and highlights all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Vance Joseph was concerned about the Jets being a desperate team. He said, hey, we're going against a young quarterback with talent. We don't want his big breakout game to come against us. And you look up, Darnold has 145 yards, 2 touchdowns on 2 long plays.
Yeah, just 5 completions on 12 throws. He's had a couple drop too, but you see the demeanor. He doesn't change when things are going poorly, and really not all that excited right now after those 2 beautiful touchdown passes to Robbie Anderson, even keeled.
So there's no advancement on the fumble within the last 2 minutes. 58 seconds to play now in the second quarter. Back it up on the sack to the 42. Keenum, rhythm throw. It's low. It's Demaryius Thomas showing off the hands with the grab, but Denver still has work to do. That's only 4 yards, and now it's third down with 45 seconds to go in the second quarter. Keenum on 3rd and 13, steps up. A deep ball, nobody home. Demaryius Thomas, the intended target. 2 Jet defenders running with him, stride for stride. And the Denver drive stalls.
I'm not sure about that decision by Keenum to go for the long bomb instead of trying to pick up the first down, or at least give him a play on 4th down where they could possibly go for it to get McManus in range.
Remember, Marquette King was placed on IR. There might be some concern that he's got a sports hernia injury. He was struggling. And Colby Wadman is punting for the 5th time. Roberts will return it from inside the 5. Stays on his feet with a flag down and then gang tackled at the 7-yard line. 50-yard punt and a 3-yard return for the veteran Roberts. Question is, why do you catch it?
Well, you don't get paid for fair catches.
During a return, illegal block in the back, number 36 of the receiving team. Half the distance of the goal, first down.
But if you let that ball roll, maybe you get it at the 20-yard line, a little more breathing room.
Well, absolutely. That's the thought. But the thought of the punt returner, especially on a punt that far, 50 yards, you're figuring that maybe the punter has outkicked his coverage.
And these numbers, Darnold has 5 completions and he has 145 yards. Jets are just going to take a knee. Crowell and Anderson have accounted for 235, just the 2 of them. And the Jets head to the locker room with a 21-10 lead on the Denver Broncos. Jets will have the football to start the second half. End of the first half, Jets on top of Denver. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station.
Want more stats? Hey Siri, who leads the league in touchdowns?
Getting ready for second half action here at MetLife. The Jets 21, Denver 10. Welcome back, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Hall of Famer Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn down on the sidelines. Broncos have given up a couple of huge plays. Robbie Anderson has taken advantage. Crowell going the distance on a long run. Part of the storyline, though, coming into this game was on the other side for the Jets, the fact that Todd Bowles was calling the plays today. Casey Rogers, defensive coordinator, out with a serious health issue. How's it look so far for New York?
Well, you know, the Jets had 10 sacks coming in today. It's been even better in this first half. Leonard Williams with a sack there. Here's Avery Williamson getting a running back in the backfield. And then a shared sack with May and Williams. And then the big play at the end of the first half. Atachu knocking the ball out of Keenum's hand. So Todd Bowles has got to be happy with the way that the defense is executing his calls.
190 yards total for Denver. Hasn't necessarily equated into point production. Remember, they got their lone touchdown after the Jets turnover, and the Broncos cashed in with outstanding field position. The touchdown, Keenum to Sutton, and now Denver will kick it off to start the second half with Brandon McManus. Andre Roberts is deep for New York. An offensive explosion for the Jets in that second quarter. 2 touchdowns for Robbie Anderson. Second half underway. McManus placing this one to Roberts at the 5. Roberts trying to circle to the outside. Denver in pursuit. Roberts stood up and then thrown down as he crossed the 10-yard line by Jones on special teams. Set it downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Well, and let's start with the Jets and Todd Bowles. You touched on the play calling. I asked him, was it like riding a bike like you thought it would be? And knowing Bowles, quiet guy, big eyes, said a lot harder. So he really feels good, though, about the offense and the running game. He feels like that led to the big plays. As for Vance Joseph, he was not shy in saying, guys, Bradley Roby's got to play better in this second half. Those big plays are on him. He also felt like offensively, more running on first and second down. And guys, lastly, Keith Ferguson, our back judge, he is out for this game. So it'll be 6-man crew for the remainder.
All right, Evan, thanks very much. Remember, Roby starting for the first time in his career. Crowell! Does he have another in him? The stutter step move by Crowell. Crowell brought down inside the 35 with a flag thrown. Justin Simmons there defensively. Beacham with a block up front. And Isaiah Crowell is putting together an impressive afternoon on the ground.
Well, I got to give a lot of credit to the guys up front, too. Beacham with a good block there. Tomlinson off the left side, along with Carpenter.
There's no foul on the play. The tackle's by the hair. By rule, that's not a foul. First down.
Watch the block right here on Derek Wolfe. A double team there. Tomlinson with a kick out. Missed tackle there by Stewart. And then off to the races goes Crowell. And maybe he'll think about getting his hair trimmed a little bit because he gets it pulled right there by Simmons. A legal play according to the rule book, but painful.
54-yard run on the burst by Crowell. He'll get it again. And Crowell is dumped behind the line of scrimmage by Miller and Harris. Loss of 1.
Yeah, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often, as it's just out there. A lot of it. And it didn't get pulled out of his head.
It did not.
Ouch.
You thought maybe Simmons would get a clump of it. Last week, no rushing yards for Crowell. He's got a $165 today. Yeah, just to finish off on Roby, Aqib Talib was the standout, Pro Bowler. They traded him away, and that allowed Roby to become a starter this season. Darnold downfield, looking for it all. Incomplete. Enunwa, the intended receiver, with Chris Harris Jr.
Really another great throw by Darnold. Harris in man-to-man coverage. He goes right by Simmons on the double team. There's just a little bit of a tug there with a left hand by Harris on that 8-1. That's enough to get away with and prevent the touchdown. Another great throw by Darnold. That was right on the money, but Harris gets away with the pass interference.
And the Jets have run 33 plays. They have 345 yards of offense. That's 10.5 yards per play. 3rd and 11 now. Jets trying to convert it. Knocked up in the air. Free ball. Intercepted by Derek Wolfe. Huge play for this Denver D. And boy, did they ever need it.
Well, Shane Ray is going to get the deflection, and Derek Wolfe's going to get his first NFL interception. Check out Shane Ray here, and also Derek Wolfe on the defensive other side of the formation. Good athletic move there by Ray to knock it up in the air, and then I'm surprised that Wolfe didn't call for a fair catch on that.
That was a gift for Wolfe. And Shane Ray on the sideline told him, "You're welcome." Demaryius Thomas, the catch and curl, as he stiff arms Claiborne for extra yards. 18 on first down.
Well, Ray goes about 6'3" and very athletic. He got the right hand on it, and then Wolfe with the gift.
Early stages of this third quarter. Denver defense creates the turnover, second time today.
They cashed in on the first one. We'll see what they do with this one.
First down for Denver. Keenum lines it up. Knocked away, nearly intercepted by Claiborne. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended target. He only has 2 catches for 16 yards.
This ball should not have been thrown because this coverage is perfect by Claiborne. He runs the route, cuts underneath it, eyes the ball, and just can't come up with a catch. That is an interception that's dropped by Claiborne. But a great read of the route of Sanders.
2 years, $36 million deal for Case Keenum. All that work to finally get into position where he could cash in on the free agent market. 2nd and 10, play action. Keenum flips it over the middle. And it's hauled in by Freeman, immediately met by Avery Williamson after the 4-yard gain.
Now, we're talking about the officials only having 6 officials. There's no official on this side of the field, and Demaryius Thomas was in illegal motion before that play was called. Before the play was run, and they get away with it because there's no official on this side of the field.
Now it's a 3rd and 6. Jets trying to hold up defensively. Denver trying to convert. Keenum is sacked. Back in Broncos territory, they have not been able to contain Leonard Williams. Nickerson helped out on the rush.
Well, Williams is going to just blow by McGovern there. And there is the help there, Jenkins as well. But Keenum now 4 sacks on the afternoon, and the interception by Wolf turns into 0 points for Denver.
And a loss of 11. Colby Wadman to punt again. Roberts moves forward. Fair catch. He lost it at the end. Was there a whistle?
I believe so. I think they're going to say this was down. It was poked out of his hand. The question is, did he have possession long enough?
Called for the fair catch. It looked like he was touched. There's the fair catch call. Was he touched at all? Ooh.
The Bronco players are not happy.
Listen. The whistle came simultaneous, and the Jets are going to retain it. It is not ruled a muff. The Jets avoid what would have been a huge turn of events. 21-10 New York.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by McDonald's new Trick Treat Win game. No purchase necessary. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by FedEx, possibilities, what we deliver by delivering.
All right, let's sift through a couple things here. Trenton Cannon came out for the return. Vance Joseph is now challenging what the call on the field was, that the fair catch was clean and there was no muff.
Denver is challenging the ruling on the field that the receiver possessed the ball and was dead. We will review the play.
Cannon is a rookie out of Virginia State. They used him a bit in the preseason as a returner, and he struggled with it. So Cannon got crowded right there. Does he have possession? Is that a catch in your mind?
Yeah, I think it is, because he possesses it here, and as he steps forward, the ball is knocked out of his hand. And the officials were right on it. They saw once he gained possession after the slight bobble there, they blew the whistle and blew the play dead.
It was Tim Patrick, special teamer, who got right in front of Cannon as the rookie called for the fair catch. So the call on the field was fair catch, no fumble. Morelli is now taking a look at it.
It's a real smart challenge by Vance Joseph. This is a huge play here. Huge chance for Denver to have the ball inside the 20-yard line.
And a clear recovery by Denver as that ball popped free. Gene Steratore, our rules analyst, is with us right now. We're going to hear Pete Morelli, then talk to Gene.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Denver will be charged a timeout and a challenge.
All right, Gene, what did you see on that play?
Interesting play. First and foremost, remember, guys, we have officials in different positions because of the injury. So you have a back judge that's not in his normal position and not in the best position for a back judge. Both deep wing officials are pinned on the pylon by normal mechanics, and no one sees this from the front. I do agree with the ruling, however. He doesn't have a possession for an instant there long enough to leave it as it stands.
And Denver loses a timeout in the process. Handoff for Bilal Powell. Yeah, that was my feeling as well, that once Cannon cradled it with the two hands, that was it.
But you talked about his struggles in the preseason, and you can see why he's not the normal every-day guy. Roberts, outstanding punt returner, and we're not sure, he may have an elbow injury and was not in on that play.
And that was an issue in the preseason. I think the Jets' plan was not to have Roberts on the 53-man roster, that Cannon would take up a couple of spots with the injury to Elijah McGuire in training camp. 2nd and 8 now for New York. Pitch it for Powell. Powell looking for blockers. He gets one. Tomlinson provides a little push and a flag thrown at the 24-yard line. Three penalties against New York, 4 against Denver.
Holding. Number 81 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still 2nd down.
Let's send it to Evan.
Guys, just to put a bow on this, the reason Andre Roberts wasn't in for that punt is he injured his elbow. Actually, he was in on the tackle of the Derek Wolfe interception, so he came to the sideline, was working on his elbow. He's questionable to return, so it could be Cannon for the remainder of this one.
Well, and Cannon very fortunate that that potential mistake didn't cost his team. 10:38 to play in the third. The holding call did affect the Jets after the run by Powell. And now they're sorting out where the line of scrimmage will be. It'll be the 10-yard line for New York. Denver has actually run more plays than the Jets because they've cashed in on the big play. The Crowell run, the 2 long touchdowns to Robbie Anderson. 2nd and 15. Powell remains in there with the Jets in front 21-10 on Denver. Darnold tosses to Tomlinson on the outside. So Tomlinson has been involved here for the Jets. That's really not his bread and butter. It's more of a blocker. And Leggett and Herndon, known more as receivers. Neil Sterling is out with a concussion.
And still no receptions for Quincy Enunwa or Jermaine Kearse. Darnold 6 out of 15. 3 catches for Robbie Anderson, 2 for Tomlinson, and 1 for Leggett.
I don't feel like I've seen Terrell Pryor out there at all. Pryor, the 4th receiver, with Enunwa, Anderson, and Kearse, the top 3, 3rd and 12. Darnold lets it fly. Hits his man. And it's Kearse for a 1st down. Strong throw by Darnold.
Yeah, that was really the test for any quarterback. The deep out route, throwing it on a line here away from the defender, right to the face mask of Kearse. Good for 14 and a 1st down. And there is Terrell Pryor. He was in on the first Robbie Anderson touchdown. Remember, he pushed Adam Jones to the ground at the goal line.
Darnold is now 7 of 16, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick off the deflection. We approach 9 minutes to go in the third. Draw play for Powell. And they push the pile to the 30. 3-yard gain. Zach Kerr, former Colt, in on the stop.
This offensive line doing a super job of, number 1, protecting Darnold. No sacks for Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. Miller now a couple of games without a sack. Had 4 coming into today's game.
87.5 in his career. That's the most in the league since he was drafted back in 2011 as the 2nd overall pick from Texas A&M. 2nd and 7 now for Darnold and the Jets. On the ground, there's a hole. Bilal Powell. Powell takes it across the 45. A block from Spencer Long. That's 16 yards for Powell.
Yeah, Spencer Long and Winters are going to double team here. Then Winters comes off on the linebacker. Really good job of this offensive line. Shell with a kick out there and another huge hole for the Jet running backs.
We asked early if the Jets could run on this Denver defense, and the answer has been a very emphatic yes. 224 rushing yards for New York. Line of scrimmage is now the 46. Under 8 minutes to go in the third. Crowell back in. Crowell pressing the line and cutting it to the outside. Isaiah Crowell has just cracked 170 yards on the ground.
You get the feeling that the Bronco defense right now is tired. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing guys with their hands on their hips. Remember, they flew in late yesterday, they landed about 5 o'clock here after flying from Denver. But that's Vance Joseph told us he didn't want to change the normal routine, even though it was a short week after playing on Monday night.
Well, they came in amongst the worst in the NFL in rushing. A completely different story today for New York. Give to Crowell. And it's just enough, it appears, for the first down. Isaiah Crowell. Now you have to start looking at some all-time Jet numbers, the way he's going and the way this game is going. Thomas Jones set a Jet record in 2009 with 210 rushing yards. Curtis Martin had 203 on the ground in 2000. He's at 175, and we have 6:37 to go in the third.
And the Jets will run the ball as much as possible with this 11-point lead.
Darnold steps up. Open man is Crowell. Crowell still going as he had the fake. 12 yards, catch and run, Bradley Chubb.
Well, remember on his 77-yard run in the first quarter, he made a couple of moves like this.
Yeah.
There goes Chubb, and he also went down, but used his left hand on the ground to keep his balance and pick up extra yardage. Tremendous athletic move there by Isaiah Crowell.
And
getting a big smile from the coach.
Another clock-chewing drive, nearly 6 minutes of game action. Over 400 total yards. Darnold, dropped by Enunwa. You know, it's interesting. Enunwa popped up on the injury report with a hip, but when we chatted with him late in the week, seemed to have an issue with his right hand. That ball was tipped by Chubb.
Yeah, there's something going on inside that right glove. It appears to be some type of hard cast where his thumb is. I shook hands with him and immediately noticed it, obviously. But he said it wouldn't affect him. But I think the ball being tipped is why that ball was not caught. 2nd and 10 now for New York. Tomlinson shifts just off the line. And Powell, as they rotate running backs, will get his chance. Not much there. He's ridden down by Miller and Kerr. 1 yard pickup, 3rd and long. Now Von Miller, trying to get to the young quarterback, has not had a whole lot of success putting pressure on Sam Darnold. You asked Darnold about his whole attitude. He's so even-tempered. He said his junior year of high school, a basketball game, if they won the game, they would have won the league title outright. A loss, and they would share it. They lost the game. After the game, he punched a locker and broke a bone in his pinky. Darnold's pass is broken up. Curse and Roby. And he said since that point, he has never lost his cool. He remembers that feeling afterwards. By hitting the locker, he smashed his knuckle. So all he has to do to remember to keep his cool is to look at his pinky finger and where the knuckle used to be. So Darnold, 8 of 19, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. This will be a 49-yard attempt for Myers, who missed a field goal earlier. A 30-yard miss. From 49 yards away, Myers curves it through for the Jets. 24-10, the Jets on top of the Broncos. 4:52 to go in the third from Jersey.
Next Sunday, CBS's Super Bowl season continues. Doubleheader day first. Always important divisional showdown. AFC North. Pittsburgh battles Cincinnati. We'll be there for that one. Then the NFL's top defense. Jacksonville heads to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. The day kicks off with the NFL Today at 12 Eastern. After the long field goal by Myers, he kicks it off. And that one over the head of Lindsey. Touchback. Denver has it at the 25-yard line. Case Keenum, 14 of 24, 169 yards and a touchdown. The running game has not been a huge part of it so far. Lindsey has 57 yards on the ground. Freeman has 7.
Yeah, the balance is way off. You talked about those 24 pass attempts. Broncos have only run the ball 13 times, and with this much time left in the ballgame, they got plenty of time to get back to their original game plan and not panic and have to throw the ball every down, although it looks like that's what their plan here with this type of formation.
Well, they have Freeman and Lindsey on the field together. Sun is out once again here in East Rutherford. Little sidearm toss caught by Lindsey. Spin move. He's elusive. Lindsey high kicking it along the sideline. A whiff by Roberts. And Lindsey turned it upfield for a pickup of 7.
This is why they're so excited about him. This type of ability to spin away from the tackle of Roberts and get 7 yards on a play. It looked like he would be stopped in the backfield.
So 9 different receivers have caught the football here today for Denver. Running play, Lindsey. He gets hit hard. Just short of the 30-yard line by Jamal Adams. Adams is only 22 years old, but he has emerged as one of the real leaders of this defense because he's so vocal and passionate.
Well, you have a players-only meeting for the defense. Well, that's fine and dandy, but you better come out on Sunday and show the results of that meeting. And I think with the energy and the speed from side to side, the Jets are doing exactly that, exactly what Adams had in mind.
3rd and 5 for Denver. Crowd comes alive.
And they're all 11 up at the line of scrimmage.
Keenum tosses to the open man, Sutton. Sutton down the sideline. He's still going. Flag is down. Sutton out of bounds. After the stiff arm, penalty marker was thrown at the 39-yard line. Darryl Roberts did not bring him down on the initial contact.
It may be illegal contact, or it's going to be a push-off. That's a push-off on Sutton. This one's coming back.
Pass interference, number 14 offense, 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It negates a 47-yard pass play for Denver.
Well, he's a rookie, drafted in the 2nd round. And with this body that he has, the size he has, there's the face mask. That was not called. It was the push-off on the initial part of the route that drew the flag.
Now Vance Joseph is looking for a deeper explanation. His team is in a 14-point hole. They now face a 3rd and 15 with 3:22 to go in the 3rd. 5 penalties costing the Broncos 40 yards. That was a big one. Sanders lines up next to Keenum, tosses underneath to Lindsey, trying to create after the catch, and not enough for the 1st down. Avery Williamson involved in the tackle for New York. They pick up 10, and the punting unit is back on for Denver. And Roberts is back in. He'll take it on the bounce. Works his way to the sideline and is upended at the 35. Janovich on special teams. 45-yard punt, 10-yard return. Penalty marker at the 35-yard line on Denver's end of the field.
Ineligible player downfield, number 43, the kicking team. The 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down and timeout.
Now, Matt Joseph shaking his head. It's been that kind of day for the Broncos.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Here to help life go right. And by Walt Disney World Resort.
Well, the Denver Broncos forced a punt. Now we're going to show you the call against Sutton that cost them the big gain down the sideline. 2:34 to go in the third. Bootleg. Darnold knocked away. Enunwa, the intended receiver, his bodies go down.
Well, check him out right here. This is what you might call a ticky-tack call. Did not extend his left arm, but just released away from Darryl Roberts. So you wipe out the 47-yard gain, add 10 yards on the penalty. Talk about flipping the field negatively.
So the Jets get the football. They've got the 14-point lead. 2:28 to go in the third. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass from Darnold. It's Crowell. Knifing through, met by Pecco. 5-yard gain. Down to Evan Washburn.
Well, Dan, you mentioned this defense looking a bit gassed. Well, they're thinner in the secondary because Adam Jones has not played in the second half and will not play for the remainder of this game with a leg injury. Guys, this is a secondary that was tested Monday night. Chris Harris Jr. admitted to having to get multiple IVs after the game, so to be thin there is really compromising at this point.
Yeah, they gave up 446 yards to Kansas City. They had just 1 sack on Mahomes, yet they still had a chance to win the game with Case Keenum and Demaryius Thomas unable to hook up on the sideline. Darnold throws. It's going to be short of the sticks. Andre Roberts dragged down after the 3-yard gain by Yedem. And it's 4th down, so Broncos D does its job. Jets will punt it.
And you might expect more out of Andre Roberts, a 9-year veteran. This is his first catch of the year, but ran his route about 2 yards short of the yardage needed for the first down.
So a change here on punt return. It's Deshaun Hamilton. It's 4th and a long yard for the Jets. Brock Edwards trying to place this one. Bounces and dies inside the 5.
And he had made a fair catch signal, so he could not run with it after he caught it.
Burris got turned around, and it still worked in the Jets' favor.
It was a good idea by Hamilton, but there's the fair catch. That means even if the ball bounces, he cannot advance it. Beautiful punt by Edwards, 46 yards. Pin him down inside the 5. Now it's desperation time for the Bronco offense.
215 yards for Denver. Compare that to the Jets, who have 418. We have just under a minute to go in the third. They did rally the first 2 weeks. We just haven't seen consistent signs of it here from Denver today. Keenum throwing on a bounce towards Sutton. Another hit on the quarterback, this time by Luvu.
Yeah, but you can see how anxious Keenum was in the pocket, standing in his own end zone. Smartly threw that one away because he had nothing on the right side of the field and looked back to the left as the pressure was closing in.
The Jets have 4 sacks. The Broncos have none. Jets are basically going with 2 defensive linemen. Running play, nothing there for Philip Lindsay. Getting back to the line of scrimmage.
And one thing that the Broncos have failed to do is get Emmanuel Sanders involved in the ball game. Just 2 catches, and both of them came early in the ball game.
It's a 3rd and 10 for Denver. Clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. Devontae Booker is in. Keenum will check it down through his hands. Nearly picked off by Marcus May. May missed the first 3 games with a foot injury and back in there for the Jets last week. And here is 2nd game of the season.
And if this ball is intercepted, this ball game is over. Thrown off target again, especially to a running back sitting down on his pass route. Lucky it wasn't picked.
The 8th punt of the day for Wadman. 8.
That's an inept offense.
Rookie out of
defense.
UC Davis puts it high in the air. This one's a sailing kick. Roberts backpedals from the 38. Roberts slowed down. And here comes Roberts. Andre Roberts still going. Hit from behind. End of 3. The Jets in control against Denver.
Now, Andre Roberts had a 78-yard punt return against Detroit. Missed tackle here by 48 Shaq Barrett. Wadman can't bring him down, but this is why the Jets went out and signed Roberts for this type of ability. Brant Boyer, special teams coach, got to be thrilled with that type of return. 57 on the punt, but 51 on the return.
I guess the elbow's okay.
I guess so.
So the Jets take over at the Denver 11, first play of the 4th quarter. Enunwa, the motion man. Darnold on a pitch for Powell, turns it upfield. And Powell is spun down by Kerr and Harris after the 4-yard gain. Crowell has done most of the damage, 180 yards on the ground. Powell has chipped in with 59 yards rushing.
And Powell has bounced back from that disaster in the first half of the ballgame when he fumbled, set up to Denver's only touchdown of the afternoon.
2nd and 6 for New York. Darnold on the give. Powell handles the first contact and dives inside the 5.
Zach Kerr tried to take his head off, didn't he? Powell only goes about 5'10", just ducked underneath that tackle of Kerr to take it inside the 5. Watch 92 here come over. But that's Powell. He's a tough runner.
Now it's 3rd and 2. There might be some confusion as to the personnel group, who's supposed to be on the field. Powell was starting to jog towards the sideline and then back into the huddle, and Jeremy Bates a bit upset. But one thing he can't be upset about is what the Jets have done on the ground today. They established it week 1 against Detroit, and then this week they've taken it to another level.
They've got 180 yards by Crowell on the ground, and Robbie Anderson has turned 3 catches into 123 yards and a pair of scores.
So it's 426 total yards for the Jets, who came in averaging just under 290 per game.
Yeah, they were 29th in the league. But that's the NFL. You know, it really is. Each week you have a game, a team that breaks out. Jets were hoping that this would be their day. In fact, Darnold mentioned to us that he felt that the team was close.
Sam Darnold, who watched a lot of Aaron Rodgers growing up, called him a gifted QB. A lot of Tom Brady. 3rd and 2. Darnold in trouble and sacked. Again, the snap was off. Pecco grabbing at Darnold.
Yeah, just threw the timing way off. Spencer Long with another high snap, a good catch by Darnold, but you can see how quickly that Derek Wolfe was in along with Pecco. That's the last thing a quarterback is thinking about, is having to handle a bad snap.
Spencer Long, who was signed to a 4-year, $28 million deal during the offseason from Washington.
And they spent time during the ball game on the sideline practicing the shotgun snap.
Short field goal attempt, 30 yards, and right down the middle for Myers. So the Jets extend their lead, not what they were hoping for, but they'll take the 3, and now in front 27-10, early fourth. Tonight on 60 Minutes, two of the women at the center of the Justice Kavanaugh vote, Republican Senator Susan Collins, Democratic Senator Heidi Heitkamp, explain their historic votes. That's tonight, 60 Minutes. Jets will kick it off after the field goal by Myers. A little more of a cushion. 17-point lead. Myers blasts that ball through the back of the end zone. Well, you've got the veteran Case Keenum. 16 of 28, 186 yards, a touchdown. No major mistakes, but not lifting the level of play for Denver. And then Darnold, 9 of 21, that's under 50% on a completion rate, but big plays down the field to Robbie Anderson.
And coming into the game, Keenum had only thrown 25% of his passes down the field, more than 25 yards. So that continues to be a problem for this Denver offense.
Can they push the ball downfield? They're going to try to run it first with Freeman. And he's got a hole. Freeman taking it to the outside. Royce Freeman. Excellent move by Freeman. Adams missed him. Turns it into a 24-yard gain for Denver.
Well, it's one of these misdirection type of plays for Freeman. And he shows exactly what he's got. Power and speed. Breaks that tackle.
Broncos moving quickly here. Sanders got hit down low, gets toppled. The tackle made by Marcus May, but Denver's in Jets territory on two quick plays, a run and a pass. That one covers 13 yards.
It's amazing how one positive play will lead to another.
Shotgun, Keenum. He hits Matt Lacoste, the former Giant.
And attacking the Jets in the middle of the field, similar to what Jacksonville did last week against this Jet defense.
They couldn't stop D.D. Westbrook. That was a clinic. Second and 2 now for Denver. Keenum throws a strike to Sanders. Brought down by Darren Lee, 6 yards and a first down for the Broncos.
But you can see with a 17-point lead, Todd Bowles' thought is to make them earn it. Do not blitz, just play coverage here. Let them dink and dunk their way down the field.
Another dink. Freeman gets some extra yards after the catch. Lee and Copeland combined to bring him down. The Jets have lost Josh Martin for the season, placed on IR, his second concussion in 5 weeks. So we've seen a rotation there with Tauchu and, of course, Brandon Copeland, Frankie Louvu. 2nd and 5 now for Denver. Keenum is perfect on the drive, 4 of 4. He's now over 200 yards through the air. Philip Lindsay in for the Broncos. He gets the call. And Lindsay attacks. Nicknamed the Tasmanian Devil. Brought down by Avery Williamson for New York.
Yeah, he went undrafted out of Colorado, right in the backyard of the Broncos in Boulder. And because of that, he has extra motivation every time he touches the ball.
Career leader in all-purpose yards in Colorado football history. First down for Denver. They'll take a crack. And it's too far for Courtland Sutton. Morris Claiborne there defensively.
But as a quarterback, if you got a guy that's 6'4", and you're going against a corner who's just 5'11", even if he's covered in the end zone like that, make it the old alley-oop.
Give him a chance.
Give him a chance. We saw the leaping ability of Sutton earlier in the game when he tried to catch a ball in the back of the end zone one-handed. He can get up in the air. Give him that opportunity.
And he will box out. We talked about the basketball background at SMU. He'll use his body to shield off the defender. 2nd and 10 to the outside, and Sanders. And that play blown up by Nickerson. Remember, they lost Buster Screen to a concussion. And there might be an issue here for Sutton, limping noticeably.
Yeah, he's trying to get out in front to make a block on this wide receiver screen. And he's going to get rolled up from behind on that left knee and left ankle.
Tim Patrick is in. Sutton having a tough time putting weight on it. 3rd and 6 for the Broncos. From the gun. Keenum swings it. Caught by Lindsey. Can't get to the line to gain. Jamal Adams helped make sure of it. They pick up 3, and now it's 4th down for Denver, trailing by 17.
Well, Lindsey will learn that at this level, you can't just catch a ball and try to shake and bake and make guys miss. Just get as much as you can, get out of bounds. Brings up a 4th down.
And they're going for it. They need 7, 7, and 3. Keenum gets out of it. Keenum throws. Broken up. Sanders and Claiborne, the matchup in the end zone. And the Jets take over on downs.
Yeah, it was Leonard Williams again putting pressure on Keenum. He beats the block of McGovern. The throw late over the middle, and Claiborne denies the Broncos.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda. Awarded Best SUV Brand by U.S. News. Uber. Doors are always opening. And by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you.
So Vance Joseph makes the decision. His team down by 17. Instead of kicking the short field goal, he goes for it. They do not convert, and the Jets take over with a 27-10 lead.
Well, hindsight's always 20/20, but getting those points, they're going to need them at some point anyway. And with it 4th and 3, much more difficult.
It was with 9:05 to play. Would have been a 24-yard field goal. Would have made the game 27-13, and it gives you at least a puncher's chance.
And remember, the Broncos lost a timeout on a challenge that they did not get on that fair catch play.
2nd and 7 here for New York. Tomlinson and Crowell offset. No reason to throw it, especially when you have Isaiah Crowell. The cut by Crowell. He is punishing this Denver defense. Key block from Carpenter, and Crowell is having a career day.
Well, get into the record book because he has joined some pretty good company on a very simple play. Great job that time coming around the corner by James Carpenter. And Crowell with surprising speed, I think, for the Broncos. They haven't seen him all that much, but he is tearing them apart.
It is a new Jets record. 219 rushing yards for Isaiah Crowell on 15 carries, topping the previous mark from Thomas Jones of 210.
He may get more endorsements this way.
Oh, wait. Oh, you want to go there? The redirect by Powell, and Bilal Powell has a chance to go. Dragged down from behind inside the 20.
And who's out in front? The quarterback, the rookie, Sam Darnold. Good reverse. A one-man reverse by Powell. Good for 38. And looky, who's out in front.
And he's now over 100 on the day. So just between the two of them, 320 yards. Crowell and Powell on the ground. 7:03 to play. And more questions for the Denver Broncos. They will be home for the most explosive offense in the NFL, the Los Angeles Rams, next week.
You sure this isn't the most explosive offense in the NFL?
Today it is.
Absolutely.
Give it to Powell. Met by Barrett. 6.5 remaining now in the 4th. Well, for Todd Bowles, keeping his cool, all the questions fired at him throughout the week with this team starting 1-3, and legitimate questions at that. It was a flat performance against Jacksonville. Not to say that the Jets were expected to win, but They just didn't belong in the same field as the Jaguars last week. A different story here today against Denver. 2nd and 9. And Powell is spun down behind the line of scrimmage by Jewell.
Now, it's amazing how the big plays that the Jets pulled off on offense in that first half just seemed to ignite the entire team. A long pass to Robbie Anderson, the long run by Crowell.
And that loss just dropped Powell under 100 yards rushing. How quickly it can change, Dan.
Like that.
3rd and 14 now for New York. We approach 5 minutes to play here in the 4th. Darnold swings it downfield. Juggle and a grab. Touchdown, Terrell Pryor. A brilliant catch as he snares it.
There's a slant and go route. There's the slant and there's the go. And here's the ball thrown perfectly to the outside, but he stops it with his left hand, pulls it back to his body under the pressure there of Yedem. As good as you're going to get right there.
He pins it on his shoulder for the touchdown.
And he got both feet down as Yedem was hitting him. First touchdown of the year for Pryor.
And a 3-touchdown day for Sam Darnold. 2 to Anderson, 1 to Pryor. All scoring plays are reviewed. They'll check it.
But the way that Darnold is placing the ball on target, away from the defenders, taking advantage of a guy 6'4" over a smaller defensive back. And the result, another touchdown.
Jason Myers on for the point after. Play was confirmed, and Terrell Pryor just did his quarterback a solid. Sam Darnold on his back, but he saw enough to know that he liked it. Some more Jets history. First time in the regular season, second game ever, a 200-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. Have to go back to the wild card game against Cincinnati. Freeman McNeil and Wesley Walker did it. Myers kicks it off, and a touchback. Well, a young Sam Darnold, I think he was being groomed to be a quarterback one day. There is Sam right there in the front. I believe that's Haley Joel Osment next to him. I don't believe so, but it certainly looks like him. His dad is in the top left in the blue shirt. That's Mike. What a picture.
You think the Trojan coaches were happy to see that? They didn't even have to recruit the kid. He's wearing Matt Leinert's jersey.
I'm not sure the dog wanted any part of that picture the more I examine it. Keenum throwing, his team down big as he connects with Hireman along the sideline. Let's get more from Evan.
Well, you got Sam Darnold and Josh McCown, 18-year difference, but they've grown very close. But spoke to Josh before the game, and he said he actually went to dinner on Friday with his daughter, who's 20, and Sam, who's 21, and it just hit him all of a sudden. Oh, man, they're talking millennial things. I'm really old. And I sympathize because some of our drives to and from facilities, guys, I feel a bit out of the loop.
Really? You don't know anything about Hogan's Heroes? That's what you're saying, Evan? You have no knowledge. Toss to the outside, and Hamilton. Is that really the moment that Josh McCown realized he was old? Because there are other indicators. He's been in the league now for 16 years. And what a terrific mentor he's been for Sam Darnold. They hit it off right away. McCown has a future in coaching if that's what he wants to do. Darnold said that Josh has been so patient with him with all the questions, all the film study. That's part of the reason why McCown is here. And he's being well compensated for it on a one-year, $10 million deal.
Boy, and how is Cortland Sutton back in the game after it looked like disastrous collision for his left knee and left ankle, but made that catch. And is lining up to hopes to get another one.
Yeah, great to see Sutton back out there for Denver. Had his first NFL touchdown earlier. Dump off for Booker, but the Broncos are going to deal with a lot of concerns over this next week. The long trip east, and they get blown out here at MetLife against a desperate team, yes, but 3 road games in the next 4 weeks. Keenum throws it away.
And remember, they led in this ball game. They capitalized on the fumble by Powell. But since that point, the Jets defensively, it appears they've communicated well. They're playing with great energy, getting pressure on Keenum. Bunch of sacks, a couple of turnovers.
So they've held Denver to 311 yards. Meanwhile, the Jets offense has produced 510 yards against this Denver D. A throw by Keenum to Emmanuel Sanders. Into Jets territory. Claiborne the tackle. So the way the schedule sorts out, the road game today, home for the Rams for Denver, then at Arizona and at Kansas City. Keenum dials up the deep ball, and it's caught for a touchdown. Demaryius Thomas tosses it to a Bronco fan in the front row.
Well, he just took this one away from Darryl Roberts. Roberts has really good coverage here. I'm not sure that Thomas expected this one, but he goes up and just snatches it. Roberts going with just one hand, the left hand, trying to knock it out. But you can see the strength in the hands of Thomas.
5 catches, 105 yards, and a touchdown for Demaryius Thomas on that big play from Keenum.
A successful 2-pointer here would make it a 2-score game.
Yeah, they would cut it to 16. Here's Keenum. Incomplete. Thomas in the area. 34-16 Jets with 3:18 to play. So the Jets will take over, and they've leaned on the ground game.
Yeah, 219 yards for Crowell, another 97 for Powell. But this offensive line deserves a lot of credit because there were some times when these running backs would get the ball and be nobody near them. A lot of wide plays were successful and a lot of individual reverses.
They are close to the franchise record, 321 yards rushing. 333 is the mark for the Jets, set back in October of '72 at New England. (34-16) Jets, just over 3 minutes to play, and McManus will kick it off.
And you would anticipate an onside kick here. The Jets certainly are, with 10 men within 15 yards of where McManus is teeing this ball up. Really tough, though, with the kicking team unable to get a running start because of new kickoff rules. They could not cross that 35-yard line, obviously, until the ball is kicked, and they have to line up within a yard of it.
Ball came off the tee. McManus will set it up again. Jermaine Kearse is the only Jet that's even a little bit deep. Pop it up in the air and handled by Enunwa. That would be his first catch of the day.
Yes, it would.
Coming up, State Farm postgame show. JB and the rest of the gang in New York. Latest NFL scores and highlights all coming up on the State Farm postgame show. Todd Bowles calling the defensive plays today, with defensive coordinator Casey Rogers missing this game, dealing with a serious health issue. And Bowles has, of course, been in that role before, defensive coordinator with Arizona, Philly, and Miami. Jets take over in Denver territory. Powell in the backfield, Tomlinson in front of him. And Bilal Powell picks up a couple. Denver had the timeout taken away from them earlier when they challenged what they thought was a cannon muff. The officials felt differently. Challenged a punt return. So now the Broncos are down to one timeout. They just used one with 3:13 to play here in the fourth.
And you know the Jets are going to want to give the ball to Powell so they can get him over the 100-yard rushing mark. He's just a yard shy. 18 carries for 99 yards for Bilal Powell.
Up next for the Jets, home for Indianapolis, and then another home game with the Minnesota Vikings coming to Jersey. Second and 8. The rookie Herndon goes in motion. Bilal Powell is stuffed.
1 yard forward, 2 yards back, huh?
Bradley Chubb in on the hit for Denver, and that'll be the final timeout called by the Broncos, stopping the clock with 3:08 to play. A reminder, State Farm postgame coming up. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher. Scores and highlights on the State Farm postgame show. Jets played 3 games in 11 days to open the season, and Sam Darnold was asked about it quite a bit and answered it.
That is a load.
Yeah, it is.
For any quarterback, let alone a rookie.
And I think that was the key part of the question. How are you going to process it? How are you going to handle it? And he always had the right answer, but it had to be a bit overwhelming.
And each week it's a different defense, different styles, different systems, different pressures, different looks you're going to see.
Third and 10 now for New York. Stop and go from Powell. Tackled at the 45. Picks up 2. Josie Jewell, the rookie from Iowa, combining with Justin Simmons for Denver. And now the clock will roll. Denver cannot stop the clock. 2-minute warning will stop it. And Powell ends at 99 yards rushing.
And don't you know he knows it too.
Sorry, fantasy owners. Deshaun Hamilton is the return man. And the punter, the Aussie, Lachlan Edwards. And the Jets will call a timeout. Play clock was winding down, so they'll use a timeout here. 2:21 on the game clock. Well, for Case Keenum, just didn't feel like this offense was very dynamic. He gets the connection to Demaryius Thomas late as the Jets had built their lead, but it's not a whole lot of big plays for Denver.
Well, they had 60 offensive plays, 43 passes, and 17 rushes. That type of balance coming into the game, that the thought was, oh, hey, the Broncos have found their rushing attack with these 2 rookies, Freeman and Lindsey. But the Jets shut that down and forced Keenum to throw more than anybody imagined.
37th all-time meeting between these two teams, an original AFL rivalry. Of course, they met in the 1998 AFC Championship game. Denver beat the Jets 23-10. It was January of '99. The punt from Edwards rolls to the end zone. So Denver will have it at the 20. Crowell, 219 yards rushing and a touchdown. Powell, 99 yards on the ground, had the fumble early, but it didn't stop the Jets from going out and executing their game plan. This, of course, the 50th anniversary of the Jets Super Bowl season, and they'll actually honor that team next week here at MetLife in the game against the Colts.
I guarantee it.
Yes, you do, in a fur coat. Keenum over the middle to Emmanuel Sanders. Denver can pad stats here as this will take us to the 2-minute warning. (34-16), the Jets up big on the Broncos.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, enjoyed by giant blue fictional knights everywhere. And by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
Final 2 minutes here at MetLife. The Jets comfortably in front, 34-16 over Denver. Broncos have a 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. To Booker. Devontae Booker taking it to the outside, and he's out of bounds. The executive producers of the NFL on CBS, Sean McManus and Harold Bryant. The president of CBS Sports, David Burson. Today's game produced by Mark Wolf, directed by Bob Fishman. Vice president of remote production of CBS Sports, Steve Karasik. Vice president of studio production for CBS Sports, Tyler Hale. NFL Today, produced by Drew Kaliski, directed by Bob Matina. Creative director of CBS Sports, Peter Radovich Jr. The associate directors of today's game, Brian Jagoda, Ade Ellis. Keenum towards the sideline, and Booker out of bounds. Broadcast associates Dan Obermuller, Ryan Pavlicek. Technical manager Rick Godwin. Our technical director Terry Rosich. Audio supervisor Lee Fannerstill. Stats provided by David Freed and Matt Jenkins. Our spotter Jim Stamus. Final minute 43 for Sam Darnold and the Jets. A little bit of an exhale, just the way things have been building, and now that angst will be felt by the Denver Broncos. Catch and run by Booker. And he's dropped at the 31-yard line by Marcus May.
You know, he asked the Broncos about possible hangover after that disappointing performance on Monday night when they couldn't hold the lead and watch the Chiefs go down and steal one basically at home from them. And they all said, no hangover, we get back to work and all this. But I think that exhausting type of game, and then having to travel across the country, I just saw a lot of fatigue early in this Denver defense, and I think the numbers back it up.
Catch made by Lacoste will hit the 1-minute mark of the 4th. And the road woes continue. This will be 1-11 now for the Broncos in their last 12 road games. Keenum fires it underneath, hauled in by Sanders. Jamal Adams with the stick. Down to 42 seconds left. Broncos will get lined up, try to put some points on the board. Some window dressing. Caught by Sanders. Tackled inside the 5. Clock is rolling. 22 seconds left. You'll look at the numbers on Keenum and say, wow, 377 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. But it works for fantasy football, didn't equate into winning football. Keenum, there's the interception. And a long run back here for May. Marcus May, one man to beat. Does May have enough gas to get there? May looking for an angle, he does. May brought down at the 103 yards. Oh, so close.
This may be the longest non-scoring interception return in league history.
May being helped to his feet. They might have to bring him oxygen.
Once they stop laughing.
That's how it ends. The Jets back in the win column. And the Broncos are in a tailspin. Final score, 34-16. That's it from MetLife.